Hey guys, it's Ashley here with my analysis for the week ahead. Right, so this week it was a huge week for the pound because we had the CPI readings first of all. So that came in a lot higher than expected. The year on year was 8.7, the core CPI was 7.1, and this is the huge one here, the retail one. Retail price index was 11.3. So everything basically came higher than expected, which is obviously showing here as a positive, but it's not good for the pound because uh, higher inflation means basically everyone is spending more money, and the banks will have to raise the interest rates even further to control and bring this down. Because as you know, the target for the Bank of England to keep the inflation is around 2 to 3%. So obviously they have to do something to bring this down because it clearly has stayed here for longer than expected. And then we had the rate on Thursday. So, like Mark was saying, he wouldn't have been surprised if they raised it by another 25 basis points, which they actually did. So, the original price was 4.50 interest rate. The predicted was forecast was 4.75. So they basically raised it to 5%. And the Bank of England Governor Bailey said, inflation has stayed longer than they expect and is still here, but he hasn't commented anything about future interest rates. Uh, but they will have to see now, in the next month, what happens with the readings. Um, then you had the Swissy policy interest rate as well, which they raised, but then it didn't have much of an impact on that. But then the big one was here, uh, clearly showing signs of a recession in Germany because the past readings for the manufacturing have been really low since July last year, have been below 50, all of the readings. So they are clearly in a recession at the moment. And same for the French, their readings have been less than 50 as well, and also for the pound. But manufacturing is not as important, but the services is more important because that's what England provides more of. Um, and then also the US manufacturing PMI was worse than expected. So pretty much all the economies are doing worse, but the dollar rebounded based on those figures because considered as a safe haven, and there's a recession phase going on looking at these figures. But yeah, that's not good um, for the manufacturing in Europe. And we can look at what's happening for next week. So for the week ahead, you have a lot of speeches. Um, Most of the members from across the world are speaking for the different banks. You have the Swissy, the Euro, Lagarde speaking there. Then Wednesday, you have Bailey speaking, uh, Governor for the Bank of Japan speaking, Powell speaking, and I think there's a few more speeches down here. I think it's on the yellow flag news as well. But yeah, you'll have to keep an eye on this. Uh, it shouldn't be something very different they're saying compared to what they have previously said in the past few weeks because already they have spoken uh, all the major points. So it could be something the same thing they say, but you'll have to just be careful what they say. If this is something different, that could affect the currencies. And the other thing you need to keep an eye on is the CAD CPI on Tuesday. So make sure you don't have trades open up around this time. So yeah, keep an eye on that as well. Right, so let's go to the charts. And this is DXY. You can see the dollar up as investors are weighing more rate hikes. And there's all the other news in here as well. I think there was another here. as dollar strengthens as global economy looks weaker, which is what I was talking about. So you can see the dollar index has bounced off this trend line, but then stopped at the 55 over here at 102 500, and then it's basically stuck in a kind of a range, and maybe we could be seeing a little head and shoulder forming up in here, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, but at the moment it's a bit tricky with the dollar because it's just bouncing off up and down, kind of in the range. Um, so yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on the dollar index to see what's happening, but we clearly need a break above this region to indicate dollar strength, or a break below this region here at 100 to indicate dollar weakness. Um, the Japanese index is clearly dropping, which is why we are seeing USD yen going a lot higher, and also the other yens, yen pairs. So they are continuing with their uh, easing yet. So unless the governor of Japan says something about them stopping it, then the yen could strengthen. Right, so let's go to the charts. Uh, Gold is clearly here at a big level at 1900. You can see that's bounced off it, and you can also see in the past it's bounced off 1908. You have the 61.8 monthly support going on here, and also the 200 coming in here on the daily. So it's going to be a big level, and we could see a bit of a retracement possibly in here, but clearly it is going down at the moment, making lower highs and lower lows. Um, Also, the RSI is quite a good indicator whenever on the weekly, whenever it's come into the high region or bot area, it is dropping, and then also on the weekly here, when it's bought in the oversold areas, good indication to buy. It's done it several times, so you can have a also look at that. The yen pairs, right? So we got to move the fibs along, but it it's just going. There's no place to buy this at the moment. It was in a little range here, then the rate statement came out a couple of weeks ago, and then it has broken higher and it's just gone. The place I would look to buy this, clearly if it does a pullback, would be in here at 137,684 or 137,800, anywhere in this region, because you have this support, the trend line intersecting with that support, 61.8, the 55 in here, a lot of stuff going on. So I think this is a A grade for me, around 60 pips, and you could be looking to take it back up. But you will have to go on a shorter time frame here to just get a better entry, possibly. So you can see that you could use this area. Anywhere in here basically looks good for long. Right, Euro USD, um, clearly the Euro data pushed it lower on Friday, and then it bounced off on this 4-hour level that I plotted here. There was a 55 in there as well. Um, so it's bounced off it, there you can see, but you could be looking for shorts also in here. But for me, the A grade area is in here for a short at 110,560. I kept an order in there. You can see that's in a clear channel, so I'll be looking to short it over there, and equally I will look to long back down here at 107 200. So a 30 pip stop, and then look to trade it back up. USD Swissy, you can see that this is a clear level of resistance, 89 800. So you could be looking for shorts in there and look to trade it back down. So keep an eye on the Euro USD. If that is going up, this is going to go down. Pound USD, I only want to long this at 125 250. So I'll look for a 50 pip stop here, and then look to trade it back up to 128. So it's around 270 pips. Really good area over here. You have multiple reasons to take it. USD CAD, I have a forward order because we had a breakout of this major trend line on the weekly. So I want to trade it back down on a pullback over here. So 133, 100, and I've kept my stop around 50 pips here, and I'm basically looking to take it back down to 130, which is also a huge psychological level, and I will be looking to long it anywhere in here. Um, so 130, 600 maybe. We'll have to see on the short time frame when price comes in here. But anywhere in here looks good for a long, and then you can look to trade it back up for around 270 as well. Then AUD kind of had given an indication because it broke out of a range. I thought it would go higher, but clearly it's gone down now. Um, it's a bit tricky at the moment to say whether it's still going in a downtrend or in an uptrend because it's come back below the 200 now. So I would just leave it alone for now. But if I was going to long it, then I would do so anywhere in here where I have the monthly support. So at 65,734 because I have the 78.6 fib there as well. So around 30 pip stop, and I could look to trade it back up to the 200. So 180 over there. The euro pound was really nice this week, so I caught it when the pound news came out, the rate statement. So the euro kind of shot up and then caught it right at the 50% fib, and I took off around 30% of it just to cover my stop loss. And then I have made it break even trade, so it's now risk free. And at the moment, it is around 50 pips in profit, so I'll leave that alone. I do want to hold it for around here 260 pips. So I'll take some partial profits along the way on that one. Euro Aussie, I'm leaving it alone. Long around 157 for me. Pound Aussie, the same thing, correlated with the Euro Aussie. I will look for a long around 181, 300. Pound New Zealand, it's way high up. I would look for a long anywhere in here at 196 and 195 areas. Pound CAD, again, the A grade for me is at 78.6 fib, 164, 550, 164, 500. I have my order in there. It's around 70 pip stop, and you'll be looking around to 70 pips. The end pairs are just too high up. I would, of course, need to adjust the orders. Um, I wouldn't expect it to drop 700 pips. So I think this has got maybe a few more weeks if it was going to do a retracement to even get here, or maybe months. But if the EMAs move up, then I will need to also move my order along with them. So I'll have to keep you updated on those in the future, but you can clearly see here this would be the area for me to long, or anywhere around here to 78.6 fib. Same goes for the Aussie yen. The the yen pairs, it's just very weak. So the other currencies are just heading high against it, but you would need to adjust the forward orders again on your areas depending on where the EMAs are. So keep an eye on those. New Zealand CAD, um, I didn't get into this one because I don't have the same EMA as Mark has on the daily. So I didn't take it. So I kept my order in here, but it didn't get there. But anyway, if it shoots up, I would be looking anywhere in here. Um, I have a 70 pip stop. I'm looking to trade it back down. Maybe I could look on the 4 hour if I was going to take it in here again. Um, so I have around three reasons there: 40 pip stop and possibly again down back. Then Aussie New Zealand looks quite interesting in here at 108 level. So you have the weekly in here, monthly. I think this is 55 and the 200. So if you go on the daily, you could be looking uh, to long anywhere in here. So you could do a split entry, one there, because I think the stop is around 80 pips over here. So you could either look to take it like that. So on 76 pips, usually I try to stay at 70, but what you could do is just put your entry a little bit lower so you get a good stop. So around 60 pips there, and the potential is around 220 to possibly 400 on that one. And the last one is the Aussie Swissy. Um, you could be looking to short it. I think it was on the 4 hour, anywhere in here. So you can see the previous resistance, price is broken below, and if it comes back up again, you could be looking to short around 6400. So you don't need a big stop around 40 pips, and you could be looking to trade it back down for 150 pips. Just be aware though, it's a very slow pair, um, so you'll need to be a bit patient with it and probably need to hold it for a number of days. Right. So I'll see you all in the live webinar on Tuesday, and yeah, good luck for the week. Thank you.